Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to explore the Gandhi-Irwin pact, a very important event in India's struggle for independence. So let us dive into what this agreement was all about and how did it impact the freedom movement in particular. So this pact is one of the key moments in the history of India's freedom for independence, and understanding it helps us see the turning point in how India engaged with the Britishers in general. So in progression, we will first see the table of contents that we have. So very first, we are going to deal with the background section wherein we will discuss about the background which initiated this movement in particular. Then we will understand the reasons or causes for the movement, like why did it even take place in the first place or happened in the first place. Then we will see the important provisions, if any. Yeah, so we are also going to discuss the important provisions of the act. Then we will see what significance did this movement hold in itself. And finally, we are going to wrap up this video with the conclusion part where we will analyze this movement from all angles. All right. So let us first start with the background section. So I would very in brief manner give you a quick overview of what the Gandhi-Irwin pact was. So Gandhi-Irwin pact was signed on 5th March 1931. Now the date, when you are studying modern history in particular, then the date becomes very much important. And that too when the movement was very popular and it had the fair share of momentum that it wanted. So this becomes very much important in case of one marker question. So this was signed between Mahatma Gandhi and Lord Irwin. Who was he? He was the then Viceroy of India. So at that point of time, he was the Viceroy of India, and thus the pact was signed between Mahatma Gandhi and Lord Irwin. Now, you see, understanding the background is quite essential because it sets the stage for why this pact was so significant. So, this act or agreement marked a significant turning point in the Indian independence movement, thereby, sorry, it shouldn't be while, there's a printing error. So, thereby leading to a complete change in political scenario of that time. So, this pact rather, was very, very significant, very important. So now we will see the reasons. Now this becomes very important slide because we are going to now discuss in very detailed manner that what were those reasons which initiated or which sort of propagated this whole movement. So the salt, now the basic reason drags from the salt satyagraha only. So in 1930, Mahatma Gandhi led the famous salt satyagraha protesting the British monopoly on salt production. Now, if you guys are aware with little bit of modern Indian history, then you would be knowing that the Britishers had imposed tariff on salt, which was not good as far as the worth or the value of this commodity is concerned. So this was not good on the part of the Britishers. So Gandhiji, along with many followers, decided to launch the salt satyagraha. Now this salt wasn't just about this satyagraha or the salt march wasn't just about the salt. It was just symbolic, but it was about challenging the British authority. It was a master stroke by the Gandhi to unite people against injustice. So the march sparked widespread participation across India in civil disobedience movement. People were encouraged to defy British laws peacefully, leading to mass arrest. Now by 1931, the British government was facing significant arrest in India. The civil disobedience was gaining momentum and the Gandhiji's leadership was becoming more and more influential. So Lord Irwin, recognizing the need of a political solution, initiated talks with Gandhiji to resolve the growing tension. Now the thing is, why did Gandhi-Irwin pact even happen? Why did Gandhi agree to negotiate? Let us think about it. The movement was growing, but so was British suppression, right? So a middle ground was very much necessary. So that becomes a prominent reason why this pact was signed in the first place. Now we will very quickly see the provision part. All right. So, what were the key provisions of the pact? So, first, it ended the civil disobedience movement. So, Gandhiji agreed to call off the CDM and all the acts of non-violent protest. So, very important. So, if Britishers were ready to negotiate, and so were the Indians, so naturally the CDM had to be withdrawn. Second important provision was the release of the prisoners. Now, thousands of political prisoners, including many Congress leaders, were also released. So, they were held captive by the British authorities, so they were also released. Right to make salt for person. Now, this becomes very much important. Now, the tariffs had to be removed, and the Indians were granted the right to make salt for their personal use. The government allowed people to make salt for their personal consumption, although monopoly on salt production was not fully lifted. So it was not fully lifted, but of course, for personal use, the tariffs would not have to be paid. And the next provision has to be the participation in the Round Table Conference. So Gandhiji was invited to represent the Indian National Congress at the Round Table Conference in London, where discussions about India's future governance would take place. It should be where discussions about India's future governance would take place. So this was also one of the provisions. So, are you noticing how strategic this was? By agreeing to stop the protest, Gandhiji gained significant concessions without violence. So, that was his genius. In a way, he was fighting even without fighting. Also, the salt provision might sound minor, but it was a symbolic victory. It showed that the British couldn't control every aspect of Indian life. Now, after having dealt with the provisions of the Gandhi-Irwin pact, we shall now, in very brief manner, discuss the significance of this pact. Now, since this pact, this movement was so much important in the history of India, in the modern history per se, so this also would have had certain significance associated with it, right? So the Gandhi-Irwin Pact was a major step towards finding a peaceful solution to the Indian independence movement. Now this becomes very much important. Why? Because at that point of time, everybody was, was in very desperate mood to seek independence from the British authority, from the British Raj. And in such a scenario, this pact was like a boon in disguise for them. So they wanted to now end this whole turmoil, chaos in a very peaceful manner. So this gave them a reason for peaceful negotiations, for peaceful solution. This act also demonstrated Gandhiji's leadership and his ability to negotiate with the British government. Now, by that time, Gandhiji had already become the mass leader. He had the support of the masses. So it became very imperative that the people would seek the leadership of Gandhiji to be able to negotiate with the British government, right? However, this act did not grant full independence to the Indians, but it marked a shift in the nature of the freedom struggle from non-violent resistance to negotiations. Yes, now it paved way for the Indians to eye for the negotiations, or they could expect certain negotiations or certain formal talks from the British authority. Now, this is what I find fascinating about Gandhiji. Gandhiji's approach was not just very immediate freedom, but about changing the mindset of both the rulers and the ruled. So yes, he was very much, intelligent in that aspect. Now, after we have discussed the significance of the pact, we shall also, in very brief fashion, discuss about the aftermath, or the, you can say, legacy or the repercussions, etc., etc. So, Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Why is it park here? It should be pact. Sorry. So Gandhi-Irwin pact temporarily ended the civil disobedience, as we have discussed this before also, but it also highlighted the difference within the Indian independence movement. Yes, yes, yes. So if I tell you, there were different reactions also from the different factions of the Congress, like from, for example, leaders like Subhash Chandra Bose. It also shows that how freedom struggle was not just against the Britishers, but also about finding the right path forward. And also Gandhiji's role as a leader was solidified, and his peaceful methods gained even more prominence. Already discussed, he was, appearing as a mass leader. The pact also paved the way for future negotiations between the British Indian government and the Indian leaders, leading to further milestones in India's path to independence. So think about it. This pact in overall set the tone for future negotiations. It showed that even the Britishers were willing to come to the table recognizing Gandhiji's influence. So, yeah, this act itself was of very significant value. Now we will see little conclusion to this overall pact. So Gandhiji's pact was a historic agreement making an important chapter in India's struggle for independence. While it did not bring immediate independence, it played a very crucial role in shaping future negotiations. Gandhiji's strategic diplomacy showed that the road to freedom could be paved with both non-violence and negotiations. So the Gandhi-Irwin pact was not just a political agreement, I would say. It was very strategic move. It changed the dynamics of the Indian independence movement, and that is the beauty of the history, you guys. One agreement, multiple impacts. That is why understanding these events help us learn how leadership and diplomacy work hand in hand. So yeah, that was it. I hope you liked the video. I hope you are liking this series of modern Indian history. And with that being said, I would also like you to share your feedbacks in the comment section below. And if you have any query or suggestion, you can reach out to me on my Instagram. The handle will be in the description bar below. Um, if you want the PDF of this video lecture, then I would try to attach the link in the description. You can check. And yeah, until then, be safe, do well, keep connected, and thank you.